From the perspective of glucose and insulin dynamics, the difference between carbohydrates being the main source of fuel to fat is considerable. Now, one advantage fat has is that it's significantly more energy dense than both protein and carbohydrates. Hi guys, Dr. Mark outside today with the beautiful green mountains of Vermont behind me to talk to you about how a high-fat diet can sustain energy in dogs. Okay, so when looking at the best source of sustained energy for dogs, examining the impact energy from the macronutrients that is protein, fat and carbohydrates have is advantageous. Understanding the basic concept of how each energy source is used and stored by the dog will enable us to determine which is the optimal source of energy for keeping the energy levels high throughout the duration of the day. So extruded kibble diets contain a significant amount of carbohydrates that a dog uses for energy. Within a dog's body, carbohydrates are broken down to form glucose through a process called oxidation, which is basically fuel burning. And this provides the most rapid energy supply for the dog. Unfortunately, glucose also has the smallest amount of storage in the dog's body, primarily in the skeletal muscle and the liver in the form of something called glycogen. When a dog consumes a high carbohydrate diet, as glucose levels rise, referred to as a glucose spike, insulin is released from the pancreas of the animal to bring glucose levels down. Surprisingly, protein can also be utilized as a source of energy by a dog. They achieve this by the biosynthesis of glucose from certain non-carbohydrate sources, and they do this by using a whole range of different metabolic pathways. Now, specific amino acids which make up protein are used for this process to occur, with serine and alanine major amino acid contributors. However, despite this, mobilizing proteins to be used as an energy source is not advantageous due to the macronutrient being needed for many other important functions such as enabling chemical messengers and important reactions to occur. Additionally, breaking down protein from muscle is clearly not an optimal approach for the health of a dog. Focusing on other sources of energy a dog can utilize is evidently a better approach. Now, one advantage fat has is that it's significantly more energy dense than both protein and carbohydrates, with 1 gram of fat producing 8.5 calories compared to 3.5 calories both from protein and carbohydrates. Other than being sourced from a diet, body fat from the animal can also be used as a source of energy, with even a very, very lean dog possessing significant fat storage containing thousands and thousands of calories of accessible energy. When fat is a primary energy source for a dog, an increase in fatty acids and glycerol occurs from the breaking down of something called triglycerides. When this happens, two key processes take place. The first involves a significant reduction in the use of stored carbohydrates, again that word glycogen. This is beneficial in that by keeping these stores stable, reduces the potential of running out of a quick source of energy if needed. The second process, resulting from the breaking down of fat by the dog, is a substantial switching to using non-carbohydrate sources for energy, basically fat. Additionally, when a dog is using fat instead of glucose for energy, it also produces ketones or ketone bodies, which can provide an alternative fuel source to glucose for cells in various organs and tissues, including the brain. From the perspective of glucose and insulin dynamics, the difference between carbohydrates being the main source of fuel to fat is considerable. The elevation in glucose and insulin concentrations witnessed in high carbohydrate fed dogs does not occur in animals after consuming a high-fat, low-carbohydrate diet. In addition, no significant difference in values are apparent from being fasted. This in turn eliminates the highs and lows of energy commonly witnessed in high carbohydrate diet fed dogs. In summary, There can be no doubt that a high-fat, moderate protein diet with none or very minimal inclusion of carbohydrate content is the optimal approach to provide a dog with sustained energy. Not only does dietary fat provide over twice as much energy to a dog compared to proteins and carbohydrates, but it does so on a constant, steady basis. Moreover, it reduces the rate of depletion from stored carbohydrates in the animal, ironically, much more so than that if carbohydrates are the main source of energy, whereby constant carbohydrate resupply is needed in dogs with an active lifestyle.